Boom and gloom. How much pressure is David Adelman going to be under this season? Hey, maybe the best team in Denver Nuggets history. Is he the right man for the job? Some of us believe, some of us might not. We're going to find out more. Also, who are the threats to the Nuggets? The Western Conference, deep, a lot of great teams, but there have been some pretty significant injuries that have shaped just how good the West might be. Also, Media Day is just 1, 2, 3 days away. Ryan Blackburn and Matt Moore will be there in attendance, and this is going to be a very action-packed day. We're going to talk about what I'm looking forward to on Media Day. Y'all know what time it is. That's Ryan Blackburn. This is Swipa, and this is Locked On Nuggets.
You are Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Locked On Nuggets. This is your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. I'm here with Ryan Blackburn, here to talk about all the great things that are happening in the state of Colorado, in the city of Denver, all the great things that are happening. Oh, man, I can't wait to get into this conversation because we are just a couple days away from getting some true updates to get ready for the 2025-2026 NBA season, y'all.
Finally here, man.
You said finally here. Yeah, we've been waiting.
Finally, it's been so long. It's just like Denver made their big moves 3 months ago.
Yeah, we've been waiting for a while now. I think that buzz has definitely died off. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $1, $2, $3, $4, $5. And if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Download the app today. Ryan Blackburn, good friend of the show, host of the show, friend of Swipa, host of some of Swipa shows, answer of the phone sometimes, fantasy manager in the same league. Fantasy trader.
We made a trade yesterday.
Matter of fact, Chat, can you grade the trade? So I traded him Josh Jacobs and Patrick Mahomes. He traded me Chuba Hubbard and Josh Allen. How do you feel about the trade?
I mean, it's a dangerous move for me, but I figure with the quarterbacks that I have, I've got 3 right now. I need to drop it down to 2, but I've got enough good quarterback play that I can
drop the quarterback.
I can remove one of those guys. I can remove Josh Allen, and I needed some more stability for my running back position. So that's why. I mean, Josh Jacobs he's a beast in November, December, man.
Yeah, now you have Kyron Williams and Josh Jacobs for some reason, and I just gave them to you. I should have got Jamar Chase back. Also, y'all, so I was on Instagram, and shout out to Katie Winchy. I wonder if she watches the Children's Zone. I'm sure she does. She was asked a question because she always does a great job actually of answering questions inside of her Instagram chats. Like when people just send her, questions to ask. Somebody said, "When do you think Jokic gets back into Denver?" And she was like, "Sunday night." Ron, do you think that's about accurate? Do you think he gets back at the latest possible time on Sunday?
Man, I mean, it's a long flight from Serbia, brother. Like it's a long ways to go. So I don't know if it's fully Sunday night, but it's certainly on either Saturday or Sunday. And that dude he gets things set up. He gets things ready he gets his family ready to go. He's got 2 kids now to have to manage and deal with. And Natalia is obviously doing a chunk of that work, a significant chunk of that work for sure. But to get everybody settled in and ready to go and get a decent night's sleep, it would be nice. So hopefully he's in before Sunday night. That's for sure.
I wonder if the first thing he does is all right, kid stuff is settled. Does he open up the PC and get straight into gaming right away? Because I know he's a big gamer. Is that what you would do?
I mean, I'd be hopping back on YouTube. I would watch a show. I'm not sure if I'd even have the brain capacity after a 12-hour flight or whatever that's going to be to even function at a significant level. So, I mean, he doesn't really need to function at that significant of a level for Media Day. He's just got to be there. But we'll see what happens. But I'm excited for everybody to get back into town and excited to hear from guys like Coach Adelman.
Yeah, so we're going to hear from Coach Adelman. And, one of the things that I talked to Matt Moore about yesterday on a quite contentious show towards the end, in large part because of Ryan Blackburn.
That's true. I instigated.
When When he talked early off in the summer, Ryan, one of the things he said is he's most looking forward to the competitiveness that is going to be on the team, in part because there's going to be so many people competing for playing time. And because there's so many more players on the roster that are either veterans or youngs and trying to get contracts, veterans trying to get new contracts or win, or young players trying to get their first NBA contract, he's excited for that aspect of it, who wants to earn those minutes. And I told Matt, I think Julian Strawther, Peyton Watson, Deron Holmes, if you all want to be a part of this team, Zeke Naji, if you want to be a part of the rotation, you're going to have to battle and fight in training camp and prove you should be playing over Jonas Valanciunas at times. You should be playing over Tim Hardaway Jr. You should be playing over Bruce Brown, Jalen Pickett. I think that this is going to be a lot on the players in a good way, like hyper competitive. So I think there's pressure on Adelman to get the best out of the non-starters. How do I help position them to be as successful as possible? I think that's one of the first things that I'm looking forward to, and how he's going to really optimize this new second unit that he has.
I love it. And I think that it's really valuable for teams to go through this, especially a team like Denver, which, I mean, obviously they were very successful. They reached the peak, the pinnacle of all competitive play by winning a championship just 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But this is not that team anymore. This is a different group. This is, you've got Jokic, you've got Murray, you've got Gordon, you've got Christian Brown, who played an eighth man kind of minor role that year, but you've got Bruce Brown obviously coming back, and everybody's excited about it. But the rest of it is different. So the rest of it is a significantly different group, and the NBA is a significantly different animal than it was before. And I just think that that's going to cause the entire group to have to look themselves in the mirror a little bit. Court Talk with CT. What is that logo?
Yeah,
man.
Shout out to my bro. Finally making his own YouTube channel after years of making great, wonderful draft content on Twitter, in which he was right on right. Shout out to CT Fazio. We got Court Talk with CT live on YouTube now. Make sure you go hit that subscribe button to one of the best minds in basketball.
Let us know when you need a guest, brother. That's going to happen. Well, I'm gonna force myself on. We're gonna have a great time. But no, I think the overall level of pressure that Adelman faces this year in terms of creating that culture of competitiveness and desire. And I was talking about this with Jeff. It's Jeff Morton was going to be on Pickaxe tomorrow. And we are like, one of the things I really wanted to focus on with that was things that we want to hear about Media Day from tomorrow. And I should save this for the third segment, but here's the major thing. We are going to play everybody, but they have to earn it. Yeah. And championship habits begin on day one. If I recall back in 2022, that's the main thing that Michael Malone said, and he was 100% right about this. Don't talk about it, be about it, is the general sentiment that he shared that year. The Nuggets have to be about winning. They have to be about championship. And they weren't about it last year. I think they were the year before, but like Murray got hurt, guys got tired, guys got hurt. And so stuff happens. Mm-hmm. But last year, they were not about being a championship winner. They just weren't. That was not a championship caliber team. And they can be, but it starts early on. They have to approach this from a better way. And that starts with Adelman, I think.
Yeah, I was talking to Matt. I think some of this is, and he, correctly stated that, defense is not about necessarily helping each other, but you have to be able to do your job and commit to a scheme. And one of the things I said to him, Ryan, was I think one of the things I'm looking forward to from Adelman, how do you get everybody to play with more intentionality on the defensive end and making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do? But Ryan, maybe is it the word maybe playing up to the expectation, or is it just like, how do you show more care on the defensive end? Is that the better way to say it?
It's not just expectation, because I know what you're trying to say, but that is where like guys can then say, I did my job.
Sure.
I did my job. It's about getting the stop. It's about finishing possessions. It's about like, even if somebody makes a mistake around you, that was the thing, is that when one person made a mistake on the defensive end last year, it was dead, because there just wasn't enough hustle. There wasn't enough verve. There wasn't, like, they might make the first rotation to cover for that, but they're certainly not making the second or the third or the fourth. And that's how you generate open shots. So Adelman, I think, has to really instill this, that guys are going to make mistakes. The Nuggets are not going to be a great defensive team, but they can be a good one. All that's the only way that that's going to happen, though, is if they actually are intentional about it and are fully willing and able to cover for each other and have a culture of, we are going to hustle through the final possession, through the final grabbing of the defensive rebound or generating a steal, generating a block. If you do not hustle, it will not translate. So they didn't hustle last year for the vast majority of it, and that really hurt them.
Look, on the other side, we're going to talk a little bit more about this, but also who are some of the threats in the Western Conference and why there will be the threats to the Denver Nuggets in the Western Conference. We'll be back in segment 2 for more here at Locked On Nuggets. Now, when I found out SKIMS was making underwear for men, I was intrigued. I've heard so much about their quality from friends and family, so I had to give it a try. Now, let me tell you, it lives up to the hype. Now, I've always had issues with underwear, fit, comfort, or just finding the right style for me. SKIMS changed all that. Their men's line offers something for everyone, from boxer briefs to classic briefs, all designs with the perfect balance of comfort and style. Now, I tried the SKIMS. They have these cotton 3-inch boxer briefs. They feel really good. They're great for my active lifestyle. As you are on my Instagram or on my Twitter, I work out 6 times a week, and I need to make sure that I have something that works well with my body. That way I can do what I need to do. They move with me. They never lose shape, and they stay in place all day. Now, whether I'm working out or just running errands, they're the most comfortable and reliable underwear I've ever owned. Plus, the lightweight material feels amazing, almost like you're wearing nothing at all. So shop SKIMS Mens at skims.com. Let them know that we sent you. After you place your order, select podcasts in the survey and select our show in the drop-down menu that follows. We'll be back for more here at Locked On Nuggets. We're back for segment 2 at Locked On Nuggets. Thank y'all so much for being here with us today. We're on the way to 15,000 subscribers, so please give us a like, give us a share, give us a subscribe. I guarantee you this is going to be an action-packed season, and you're going to want to be here at Locked On Nuggets to hear more about it. Also, if you're listening on the audio side, give us a 5-star review. Look at Ryan. Look at the hair. Look at the dazzling man. Do you hear the voice? That's Mr. Big Time TV himself. If you want Ryan to stay around in the Colorado market for a while, don't leave us for ESPN, Ryan. Make sure you give a 5-star review. That way we can keep him here. And show
I've done too much criticism, I think. I do not think that ESPN is going to come my way. But if that, I mean, no, we're not soliciting here. That's not what we're doing. I am extremely happy where I'm at.
So we're in a situation now, Ryan, where I was just talking about this literally an hour ago.
Yeah.
The Western Conference is deep. The Western Conference has a lot of really good teams. But Ryan, Scoot Henderson injury, I think for a Portland Trailblazers team that was on the up and up, still on the up and up, I think they're going to be a lot better than people realize. They're going to be competing for a playoff spot, at least a play-in spot, I think, this year. They have veterans. They got depth. They got defense. Denny Avdia is heading to a new place in his career. Shaedon Sharpe, I think, is a really good player. And then on top of that, Tumani Kamara, Drew Holiday, Jeremy Grant off the bench, Donovan Clingan, Yang. They have a lot of good players.
They're going to be the 2 years ago Orlando Magic, which like Orlando was the 29th offense and the first defense or whatever. Like, it's pretty close to that. Portland doesn't have enough offense to be seriously competitive, but they have enough defense to make you suffer. So they will absolutely win games that way.
I agree. But you look at the Houston Rockets, I really truly think from a positional value standpoint and from a connectivity standpoint, losing Fred VanVleet is a huge deal. And I think that alters the ceiling for the Rockets and really alters, I have thought, I think that the Houston Rockets were the 3rd best team in basketball. I think that the Thunder, the Nuggets, and the Rockets are the 3 best teams in the NBA. And for them to lose that, that's like, Cleveland losing Darius Garland. I mean, I think that's like Denver, obviously, in many ways, losing their lead guard. I think that changes the Western Conference. I still think they're going to be a threat, but I think in a playoff setting, that would change the dynamics of what the game would actually look like quite a bit.
Oh, listening to the Podfather, Bill Simmons and Zach Lowe talking about this, it was interesting to think about, okay, what is Houston actually going to look like in a playoff environment if they don't have Fred VanVleet? I mean, who's going to bring the ball up the floor for them? And are they going to be able to deal with the pressure that an OKC or a
Christian
Minnesota
Brown?
is going to be able to apply? Denver's not going to apply that pressure. Like Christian might pressure full court, but that's about it. I think that the Fred VanVleet injury is pretty significant. And if they, like, it's like if Denver lost Cam Johnson. He's not the first most important or second most important or third most important player, but like every time you lose somebody like that, especially at a very important position of need, it becomes very difficult to like fill in the gaps behind. It's not just about filling in the starting lineup. It's about filling in the rotation behind him and the skill set that it actually misses. So I got to imagine they're going to trade for somebody because I just don't think that Amen Thompson, Aaron Holiday, and Reed Shepherd are going to be playoff viable as a starting and primary backcourt.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really interesting. I hope Reed Shepherd has a good career. This is a lot to ask of Reed.
He needs a bounce back. Like that first year, and then even the summer league was pretty shaky. So hopefully he gets to figure it out.
Yeah, I agree. So, when I look at the Western Conference, Ryan, my consistent five, and I'm going to add another one in there, two more actually, has been the Thunder, the Nuggets, the Rockets, the Clippers, the Wolves. I think the Lakers, 50-plus wins this year. I think the Warriors, if they can get 50-plus games from Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and Steph Curry together, I mean, last year they were phenomenal in the regular season when they all played together. I think they're a little bit closer to contender than people realize, but I think it's that center position that a lot of people are really hung up about, and the fact they only have 9 players on the roster. So to me,
that hurts. That's pretty tough.
But that speaks more to ownership. I think just completely dropping the ball.
It's the Kuminga situation, of course, and they imagine if they had solved this problem in any of the previous years, then they would be in a way better situation at this current point. But hey. Dude, they've got a top 10 player in Steph Curry and a top 20 player in Jimmy Butler, according to ESPN. So like Jimmy Butler, 18th best player in the NBA. They should be just fine.
Yeah, I mean their defense is going to be incredible again. I think the Warriors are going to be good.
They're going to be. They are the perfect first round exit team. They just are. They are not going to seriously challenge anybody at the top.
If they play the Lakers in this series, you don't think they will have a chance?
I mean, serious teams.
Sure.
Yeah, like the Thunder and the Nuggets. They will not challenge the Thunder or the Nuggets.
Sure. The Clippers?
Clippers will. Clippers did last year, and they got better. So, I mean, well, actually, that's a interesting question. Do you think the Clippers got better by trading away Norman Powell for John Collins and the deal that they got? And then they got Brook Lopez.
Yeah, I think functionally they're a better basketball team. I think they're still going to run into matchup issues with Denver. Yeah. But I think from a overall standpoint, they'll have a 1 through 10, 1 through 9 that they can go, that they can trust. And I think Harden, Kawhi, John Collins, and then obviously you have Zubac and Brook Lopez, and then you got Batum's coming back this year, Chris Dunn. I mean, that's a really good team. Like, I think they're going to be dangerous still.
Oh yeah, I mean they certainly they've got the talent for it. They'll need to make up about 30 games missed by Kawhi. They'll need to make up another 30 games missed by Steve Ballmer. So sure they're probably going to get something coming down the pipeline at some point. But no, it'll be interesting. I mean, they were impressive. They were, I mean, heading into the playoffs, probably the second most dangerous team in the West.
Yeah, and
Denver beat them because they have the best player in the world. And also the Clippers clipped. So I again, it's one of those things. They will push Denver, but if Denver's actually seriously challenged by the Clippers this year, that reflects on the Nuggets, brother. I think.
I don't think so. I think that's a little too low of a view on the Clippers, man. I think they're so big. They're so physical. They have so much with Kawhi and Harden. They have a lot of shot creation. And again, like if the Nuggets have a chance to put everybody away, but I also told you, Ryan, matchup standpoint, I feel better about the Thunder than I did about the Clippers last year. I just think that the Thunder offer some things that the Clippers don't. And I think that interior size the Clippers had with Brook and Zubac, that's going to be tough. But I still think they're going to be like, I don't know, man. I think the Wolves too, bro. Like, I think the Wolves are going to be great.
Yeah, they're going to be way better than people are giving them credit for.
Right.
Like, I do think that there is a world where the Wolves are a top 3 seed, especially with this Houston Fred VanVleet injury, and like, hey, you gotta figure out whether Luka and LeBron still like each other and want to play together. Hey, you got to figure out what the Clippers are going to look like in this aspiration situation. You got to figure out, okay, how many games are the Warriors actually going to play together with the guys being geriatric? Like, there's a lot of questions, I think, about some of those teams, and the Wolves are just going to do what they do. They're probably going to make certainly the second round again this year, and they have another chance to make the conference finals.
Look, on the other side, I'm going to talk about some of the things I'm most looking forward to for Media Day, because I actually think this is a big day. This is probably one of the bigger media days we've had, maybe the second biggest in the last 4 years. We got more to talk about here in the third segment on Locked On Nuggets. One of the best times of the year. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Now, I love using FanDuel. Ryan knows I love same-game parlays. I love being able to put different things together. I love looking at the Thursday night games, the 1 o'clock games, and then looking into the 4 p.m. slate games with the Sunday night football, Monday night football. I love being able to put it all together. So FanDuel makes it easy, makes it exciting, and it adds even more energy to Sundays. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. We'll be back for the final segment here at Locked On Nuggets.
Download the FanDuel app
No. Welcome back to the final segment here at Locked On Nuggets, here with Ryan Blackburn. Good vibes only. Ryan,
is there?
Can it just be stated that I'm excited? Can you maybe extrapolate on this? Because I feel like you can maybe share this with the audience in a way that they might not. Just Swipa saying this one thing. Them having a bunch of adults in the room.
Oh my God.
It's going to be phenomenal.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine what it means to have a bunch of adults with adult expectations in the room? Like every single one of these guys, I think, has a reason to be a little bit miffed, a little bit frustrated about the way that the last season went, and have some hunger, have some desire to really amp some things up. Think about Cam Johnson, who has made the NBA Finals before with the Phoenix Suns, but they lost. And ever since then, he's never made it back that far, has a desire to get back into playing competitive basketball. And I have no doubt that he's going to bring it when it's all said and done. I think you could say the same thing about Jonas Valanciunas, who's never won a championship before. He, unfortunately, like for him, it's probably been a pretty big struggle to go from being a starter, a featured guy, to a bench player. But if he can really take that role by the horns this year, then the Nuggets have a better chance than they've ever had in terms of actually putting together 48 minutes of great basketball every single night. And then Bruce Brown and Tim Hardaway Jr. just coming in. Bruce knows the drill. He knows what he should be, how he should be. Tim Hardaway Jr. understands what's supposed to happen. The question is whether he can make it happen. And I do think that the last couple of years with him, they made the NBA Finals with Dallas. Tim Hardaway did. And then with Detroit, they were pretty successful last year. He was the grown-up in the room for them. So there's a lot of grown-ups. I do think that is a massive importance for this upcoming year.
And I think Jamal being in town, he looked good. I feel an energy from him. I don't want to estimate on what that means for the season. I think Jokic coming back in town, knowing, like, I think for me, it's like Jokic can look around and be like, he won't say anything, but just like, he feels that there's a basketball team that is committed to the process.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Should he say something? Should he continue to take ownership with his voice, especially as David Adelman transitions into being first-time head coach, first full season? Jokic was very vocal at the end of last year. Should it be something where he starts to say something a little bit more consistently and take on that leadership role.
Jokic is so process oriented in his public liturgy. I think that he will say that, hey, we have the guys in the building. And that's a Ryan Blackburn question, actually, for Jokic. So, you can take in your own notes. I already know he's got this laptop propped, ready to go. I think some of this, Ryan, is like, I do think that when one of you asked a question about like how he feels or what he sees or the upcoming year, I think for him he wants to see it get done. And I think if the Nuggets come out with a good energy this year and they start off well, that's when you'll get the vocal Jokic being able to speak to why this year feels the way it feels or why the team feels the way it feels. But not necessarily, again, for like long-term results, but like, hey, what's going well? Why are you playing well? Because, every time I've seen Jokic talk about like the team, it's always in construct of like, okay, well, we're playing connected. We're not playing connected. We're trying to find ourselves. We found ourselves. We feel good. I told Matt yesterday, Jokic, it sounds like behind the scenes is a much more vocal person than he appears to be publicly. And I don't know if it will ever like get that kind of public facing Jokic in the microphone.
Yeah, and look, we don't need that. And the Nuggets certainly don't need that to win a championship. But I just wonder if one of the reasons why Denver often has started slower, because we like Jokic is a thing. December 15th has been a thing for a long time. And it's not just because that's when Jokic was inserted into the starting lineup back in the day. It was because Denver would always start slow. They would always start slow, and Jokic would start slow at times and then really start to amp it up. And Murray would really start to amp it up. It's not just a Jokic thing, but the leaders, I think, Jokic and Murray, have to take the bull by the horns this year and just get the Nuggets off and running quicker than they usually have been, because it would represent, I think, a level of seriousness and focus and I think an attention to detail that they haven't had previously. So I don't know. Like, it does seem to, like, because they even started relatively slow during the championship year, but then they were the best player in the NBA so clearly from December to March for that entire time. So I don't know, man. It's tough. I think that there's a lot of questions to answer, but Denver's got to go about answering them, and then it starts on media day.
Well, you remember the first game of the year after Murray comes back, they got blown out.
I was there. I was actually there for that one, and holy crap, they sucked. They were so bad. I was like getting all this film and this B-roll on the sidelines, and it was at Utah, and this was when Utah had traded Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. And holy crap, they got run out of the building by Jordan Clarkson and Colin Sexton. It was horrible.
What do you think the moment will be this year? Because remember that year they were 1-1 and went to Golden State, and then that was
it was 0-1, and they immediately kind of rectified that wrong that they had done in Utah, and then on national TV just not throttled the Warriors, but like it was kind of a Christian Brown's coming out party. Bruce Brown played well. Jamal didn't even play that night because it was a back-to-back, I think.
Yeah, I think this year I'm really hoping that the media day we're going to get a sense of competitiveness, and I just hope like the spirit of like the moment. The team is ready, everyone's ready, everyone knows their job, everyone knows their responsibility, and you're going to have the threads on, you'll have the jerseys on, you'll feel like, hey, we're in the center of a press conference. I think Peyton Watson, Zeke Naji, Julian Strawther, like all the young guys, Jalen Pickett, Hunter Tyson. They're going to be questions directed to them too. Like, hey, this is a deep team. How are you feeling about your state and just status on the team? Do you feel like you're ready to compete? How do you feel like your summer's been impacted? I want to hear all that, Ryan. Again, This is the Ryan Blackburn, Matt Moore, Adam Mares, Harrison Wynn, Brendan Vogt, Katie Wingy, everybody. Everybody. Everyone that just in that room, they do such an excellent job. Chris Marlowe asking all of these great questions.
Chris Marlowe's got good questions. That's the one people like. Chris is great behind the scenes in terms of being able to ask all the questions. He's got that old man energy of like, I do not care how this is perceived. I'm just going to ask you this and cut through all the BS, which is great.
And I'm curious to see how Adelman's mind works differently from Malone, like on a full season standpoint as well.
It was funny, like when we asked him questions after like he became the interim head coach,
Mm-hmm.
he just said what he thought. And it was very clearly, I'm not going to dance around the subject. I'm not going to, like, I know what you're asking, and I'm going to answer that question, not just what you asked. It's the question behind the question.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very interesting to kind of get that, and just as somebody who is that direct. So I hope that he maintains it. It's going to be more difficult for him to maintain it if Denver's underperforming. He's going to probably hide behind a various litany of things. But like, especially if it's, hey, why is the defense bad? And the answer is Jokic has been bad. Mm-hmm. Or if the question is, why is the offense bad? It's because Jamal's shooting 30%. Then like those, like he's going to try to come up with something to shield those guys in a little bit, but that's not the culture I think Denver needs. I think they need to just face those problems head on and make sure that they're taken care of.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, man. I can't wait to see kind of what the energy and everything is going to be inside of the room. The question that'll be asked. Also, too, for Jamal, man, if Jamal starts off this year like better than he ever has, based on kind of what we're seeing from him and stuff, man, I think that's where, because I think Matt's always struggled with like, winning 55, 54, 55. It takes a lot of energy, right?
Yeah.
But if Jamal is bringing energy and the level of play to start the year off,
then it means they have fewer guys that need to bring it at that point, and then they don't need to make up the difference later in the season. Like, this is why you hit the ground running, because if you go 16-4 in your first 20 games, you got a little wiggle room. You can start resting guys immediately at that point. There's no question as to whether you're going to be good enough from a wins perspective, a win column perspective, because you've already done the hard work. Don't start 10-10. Don't be like, hey, oh man, our offense is a little bit underwhelming. We're trying to work through some things. Cam Johnson's still trying to figure some stuff out. We haven't really figured out the bench unit. No, like, play hard, play defense, and win. Like, it should not be a difficult start to the season.
Yeah, and I think Cam Johnson, I think he's ready to rock.
So.
That's going to do it for this episode, y'all. Make sure you will have another episode Sunday night as we get ready for Monday and Media Day. And then right after that, I believe Ryan and I will be having a show.
Yeah, so we are going. No, actually, I think it's you and Matt. So
you, Matt, okay.
So Matt and I are going to do our normal Sunday night.
Yep.
Then you and Matt are going to do a reaction episode.
Yep.
On Monday, and then after that, Matt's going to San Diego for training camp. So next episode after that, he and I will react to some things. Then you and him will react to some things. And then I think we got a 3-man weave that's planned for next Friday. So should be a lot of fun, folks. Very excited for it.
Yeah, I can't wait, y'all. You waited all summer. It's time. Y'all, that's going to do it here for Locked On Nuggets. That's Swipa. That's Ryan. I'm Swipa. We'll see you on the other side.
I won the fantasy football trade.